And Vectors, my kings, and welcome back to the Total War Shogun 2 Total Full of the Samurai mod United States campaign playthrough. And today we'll be, well, continuing off from last time, where the British are, of course, amassing their troops to go on a counterattack against us. However, we will now also continue the push from the Let's actually not go against, what was that? What was the clan's name? The clan's name is Gujo Hachiman. Gujo Hachiman, interesting name. Just rolls off the tongue very easily. Gujo Hachiman, there we go. Let's get military access. And let's request trade. And bam, there we go. No need for a war. Of course, we'll break. Go away. Of course, we'll break this agreement very shortly. But for the time being, it means that our troops can pass through the territory and make their way towards the city of Omi. So we will open another front against the British. Obviously, very beneficial for us to just go in and dumpster these fools. And it seems like they decided to bunker down into the city of Kawachi. So we will march forth with all of our armies. Bam, there we go. Auto-resolve. We lost a bunch of units, but we are managing to grind through with the power of numbers. We are managing to grind through the British. They have some armies left. They're bringing in... Oh, actually, this army is probably on its way to Tajima. And the army over in Mimasaka hasn't really moved at all. Shoni Mochimasa hasn't really gotten out of his slump over there, and he hasn't really done anything. So we're almost all that's left for us to conquer is Iga, Omi, Yamashiro, and we'll see about Echizen. But if we don't capture Echizen, that'll be completely fine. So Iga, Omi, Yamashiro are the cities which we want to capture from the British, and then we'll try to actually sue for peace, because there is no reason why this sort of grinding war needs to continue. The army that was down south over here probably has left, so we can activate this army once more, send it northwards, so that we once more have 4 armies bearing down on the British, not just 3. So we'll have an even bigger amount of superiority. Whoop, never mind, the army was just hidden and it popped up back behind the city of Ki, so the army that just left Ki can march back and take out that army. It was all calculated to be a nice little bait and switch. Yep, totally calculated. No worries about anything. It was all in the cards. So, and now obviously he can't get back. How is that even possible? He made it from the city all the way here, but he can't make it back. How is this even possible? I really do not understand how these games work. Like, how is it not just him going back? Like, why is there such a... Why? Just why? You know, that's all I'm asking. Just why? But the armies in the north, in the meantime, can make their way towards the city of Omi. And with overwhelming numbers, we will be able to easily... No general in these armies, so we don't have a lot of replenishment left. And there is no real replenishment at all. But unless they stand in a city, that is. But that means that the only Iga and Yamashiro are left. I think the Yamashiro is going to get captured... well, who knows by whom, but these 2 armies in the meantime can move forward towards the city of Iga, and we will mop up what's left of the British, yes indeed. Alright, so this is the city of Ki. Since the, for some reason, the balance of power is not in our favor, we'll just continue to siege. And we will deal with the city after bringing up reinforcements from over here. Even we can start bringing up reinforcements. Okay, I moved 1 unit. Why does this always happen in this game? I move 1, I want to move all of them. There we go, and he can't even reach. This game, it's a good one, but it's excessively silly sometimes, and sometimes gets on my nerves. But these armies can make from Omi can make their way towards Yamashiro, and can start with the preparation of the assault on Yamashiro, which is the halfway point, the designated arbitrary goal that we set for ourselves is going to be the westernmost point on the Japanese isles that we capture. But yeah, in general, everything is going relatively fine. Okay, so in the city of Kiev, the British decided to sally out, and unfortunately for them, that was a bad move, because then we can just crush them, yes indeed. But here we go now with the city of Iga, also very easy prey for our armies, only 2 of them now. Since I left the army in Kawachi to possibly shadow the army of, well, the army in Setsu. But the army over here taking out Iga, very easy job of it. We will peacefully occupy, of course, repair the citadel as per usual. And these armies over here are making their steady way towards Yamashiro. We should have easy peasy time of actually dealing with them. Let's see, can we recruit over here? Yes, we can. So let's start recruiting more forces. This is always beneficial. More forces being recruited means more bang for a buck. And we also have a general over here, so let's start bringing him over to Ovari. And in general, we are very successfully dismantling the British army. All that's left is really Yamashiro, and yeah, we might even go for Echizen as the final city that we take in this playthrough. We'll see if the British pull out any other moves. We'll obviously betray the city of Kujo Hachiman, and we'll mop up the remaining clans here in the middle. One by one we will mop them up once we deal with the British, but first we must deal with the British. Alright, here we go. Can the armies make it to Yamashiro? Yes, they should be able to, so let's send in the cavalry, all of our armies bearing down on Yamashiro. The westernmost point of the Japanese Isles that we will capture. And there we go, the empire that the British had, the central Japanese empire, the central Japanese empire that the British had has been thoroughly dismantled. Let's find Great Britain, United Kingdom, request peace. And let's decide whether or not we want some money from them. So demand payment. 4,000, very much not enough. So let's go balls to the wall. Let's go 10,000. No. Okay, never mind. Let's settle on something like 7. Bam, make proposal, and there we have it. We have peace. Peace has been achieved with the British. We have absolutely destroyed them, and that's how it should be. But anyway, in the next part, we'll mostly just clean up these remaining independent clans between our territory and between the core territory of our little hold and what we just captured from the British, so that the, let's call it the middle of Japan is thoroughly under our control, so that there is nobody contesting it. And then after that, we might want to gaze northward to finally deal with the Northern Alliance that has been, well, just peacefully sitting here for a majority of the time, not really bothering me, not really bothering anyone, and apparently we are allied at the moment, so we're gonna have to break that alliance, gonna have to betray them, and we will then march completely northwards and deal also with the clan of Hirosaki. Probably won't deal with France, since I don't really feel like invading, and at this point we are so powerful that the measly amount of troops France has in the north isn't really going to pose much of a threat. So yeah, we'll clean up the remaining territories, look northwards, and then as the final act, probably once more go to war with the British and go and capture Wakasa and Echizen are probably going to be the two cities that we will capture as the final act within this campaign, so that we have a nice even border split between actually, let's try and barter for that territory. What was that? Echizen. The provincetown Fukui. Okay, let's go to the Great British United Kingdom. Can we no, we can't actually. Do not bother us, be fast. How rude. Let's request trade. Well, they would accept trade right away, so let's actually trade with them, why not? But we can't actually get buy a territory from them in this game. Well, it changes from game to game, so I tend to forget. But anyway, that just means that we will have to go to war with them again towards the end of this campaign. And yeah, that's going to be that. So thanks, Kings, for watching. As you can tell, I'm kind of sick, so I won't drag on for too long in this part. And thanks, Kings, for watching, and I will see you next time.